I was Inga's Jewish friend. So, you don't have to tell me about prejudice. You don't have to tell me about what it feels like to be discriminated against. But Allison, thank you for telling me about yourself. I'm proud you told me first. Discrimination is universal. Blacks, whites, women, the poor, Jews and gays. In Allison's case, she deals with both being a young Jewish girl and being a lesbian. Coming out to her grandmother who's accepting, but coming out to her mother's a different story. We might as well be strangers by any Kerr shows that family can be just as much as strangers as they are relatives. Why do you have to announce it, Allison? Is that all you're going to say? No, that's the first. First I'm going to say there was no need to announce it. You don't think I know what's going on between you and Laura? I don't need eyes in the back of my head to figure that out. But it makes you uncomfortable to hear it from me? Is that it? I can't do anything about it, can I? I see it every time you bring her here. I would like to believe it's a stage you're going through, but from what I've read and seen, it isn't. No, it isn't. I can kiss grandchildren goodbye, I guess. If you persist with this choice. It wasn't a choice, Mom. Was it a choice when you fell in love with Dad? Absolutely. I chose him. What I mean is there were only males you were attracted to. Of course, Allison. Where you got this was not from me. Life is family. Or I used to think that. Before this. So, what if the world was different? And men loved men and women loved women, but you were still you. What would you do? Find another world, I guess. And that's what I did. I found another world. Good. Fine. You have your world and I have mine. Mine happens to be the real world. But never mind. You always went your own way. I'm just glad your father's not around to hear his favorite daughter tell him she's gay. I was his only daughter, mother. All the more reason. We dreamed of the day you'd bring us a grandchild. That's still an option. I may bring you a grandchild one day. Don't. Don't? Not if it's one of those test tube artificial insemination children. I'm talking about a real child. From our blood, with a mother and a father. I don't care about one of those kids I see on the Donahue show that's maybe the turkey baster or some other damn thing. What you've gotten yourself involved in is serious. It's not just a matter of me saying, oh, you're gay? Fine, and life goes on. That's why I'm telling you about it. That is not why you're telling me about it. And why am I telling you about it? You want me to say, it's okay with me. You gays want the whole world to say it's okay to be gay. And it isn't? No, it isn't, okay? You are what you are, fine, but it is not okay with me what you are. So, where do we go from here? I'll tell you where not to go. Don't go to the neighbors. And don't go to my friends. And don't go to your grandmother. What do you think grandmother would say? Once she stopped weeping, you think she'd weep? Allison, this would kill your grandmother. You think grandmother wouldn't understand? What is there to understand? She has a grandchild who will never bring her great-grandchildren. I might bring her one straight from the Donahue show. Very funny. Very funny. This coming out thing isn't working. You came out to me, fine. I'm your mother. Maybe you had to. But where your grandmother's concerned, keep quiet. You think she'd want that? I think she doesn't even dream such a thing could come up. She's had enough service in her life. Back when relatives were lost in the Holocaust, isn't it enough for one woman to suffer in a lifetime? Maybe that would make her more sympathetic. Don't compare gays with Jews. There's no comparison. I'm both. There's prejudice against both, and I didn't choose to be either. If you want to kill an old woman before her time, tell her. I think you have grandmother all wrong. If I have grandmother all wrong, then I don't know her, and you don't know me, and we might as well all be strangers. To be continued. I wrote my diary that night. My mother knew. My grandmother knew. One day my mother would know my grandmother knew. All coming out stories are a continuing process. Strangers take a long time to become acquainted, particularly when they're from the same family.